Live. Are we going live? Are we actually going live? Yay! We're live. Live. We are live. So, let's get this paint on, shall we? Today I'm going to be undercoating with some Wraithbone base coat, and that's the plan right now. Just to touch up some bits that were a bit funky wonky. So I'm going to be using a small artificer layer brush. That's my plan today. If it wants to focus. Small artificer layer brush. I've got my wet palette open here, which has been sweating a little bit this week, but yeah, I need to change that shortly. Right, okay, let's get the Wraithbone popped open. And, oh, I've not opened this before. Okay, it's looking nice and gloopy in there. Needs a nice good shake. Shaking the paints! That's what we're doing, guys. Shaking the life out of the paint. Because it's sort of like semi-separated. Hi, J.O. You'll be painting a pair of Chaos Spawns. Super cool! Hey, Rex. Are the Tau a full army or a kill team? Yeah, Tau for a full army. They have a full codex and they've been going for years and years and years. These are like old Tau. Oh, that's a gloopy paint. That is a really gloopy paint, that. I'm just trying to like give it a real shake, but there's some like real gloopiness to this paint. So what I'm doing is I'm just shaking up my paints at the moment. Just shaking the life out of this paint. I need one of those paint balls. You have a mirageny of hobbies. I certainly do. Oh, right, okay, I think I've shook it best I can for now. That's going to have to do. It's awfully gloopy, but it should be okay when it's on the wet palette. We don't need loads of paint. Just a little bit of paint. So just get a little dab of water there, just to water it down a little bit. Okay. Maybe too watered down, I'm not sure. Right, let's finish off. Just check that lid's down. Oh, it's not 100% down. Right, okay, let's tidy up the paint on these Tau guys that we were doing. You only have a few. I mean, I don't have that many hobbies, really. You know, I don't have like loads and loads of hobbies. So we're just tidying up this, the bits where I've missed. I think it's mainly going to be like the shoulders and stuff. So is that even focused? Oh, come on, camera. I'm sure you can do better than that. I don't even know if there's much point in doing this, because the dark paint is going to like cover it up, probably. Oops, just smudged a bit there. The dark paint's going to mostly cover this up, so I don't know if I'm wasting my time doing this. I'm probably just wasting my time. I'm getting like more paint on the actual miniature, like with accidents, than what I actually wanted to do. I'm just filling this in now. And it's just tidying up like little bits that I'm not quite happy with. Where I think I've spilt paint, but I don't think I need to bother with it, because I think the grey paint's going to sort this out, or you know, the black even that I stick in. So oh jeez, sneezing, just a couple of little bits there. See, the trouble is I'm coating stuff that I don't want to coat. So I'm not 100% sure if I want to do this or not. Watching towel girls dance naked and throwing boomerangs at tail girls going to get away. Yeah. What colour are you going to use next? Black contrast should go well over that. Well, that's the plan, because what I've done is I've put black focus camera. I've put black on like that. This is my completed one. So I've got like grey for the arms and then black for the legs and like the seats. So that's what I'm doing next. And because I'm going black, I don't think I need to go OTT on like sorting these guys out. I'm trying to like tidy up where I've been, but I don't see the point, because I'm going to go black over the top. So there's not much point really. It's just like like there's a couple of dodgy bits that I just caught that I guess I just will sort out, you know, just for the sake of sorting it out. I think it's probably just to get a better like grey in there, you know. You can't really see how I'm getting the paintbrush in. I mean, and this is small artificer layer as well. Like, I'm going to have to go fine for some of this paint. Yeah, I'm probably just better off, I'm better off just painting the thing grey. That's probably what I'm better off doing. Is this even focusing? I'm going to switch to manual focus, because this is just silly. It keeps going out of focus all the time. Right, okay, I think that should do. Because like I've got a couple of little bits where I spilt, but if we're going with the black anyway, like what's the point? You know what I mean? I'm just touching it up really, like any like major parts that I'm not sure about. I think it should be good to go then. On my Skaven, when I use the black or dark brown contrast over the skin tone, it doesn't give no trouble at all. Yeah, well that's what I'm saying. I think I'm just making work for myself. There was a kilt like that here a few years ago, painting Marvel characters. I never got it though. Oh yeah, I think I heard of that. Like my new profile picture. Yeah, it's okay, mate. Yeah, so let's just like quickly just tweak this. We're just going to do a couple of little tweaks then, like literally little tweaks, and then we should be fine. Just to coat. We'll just do a couple of like, what I'll do is I'll just quickly like go over like the really obvious parts that I wasn't happy with, like here. You can clearly see it on his hand, which we don't want. So I'll just use the paint just to go over a couple of like weird bits, and like I think the spray didn't really get some of this, so just to fix some of the dodgy spray areas just to get a consistent tone. Trying to get that point on the brush. There's just a bit on his head on this one that I didn't quite like. Just clean up those lines there. Go around with the brush. Warhammer, you mentioned that one often. I'm going to have to check it out. Yeah, well, there's Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which is like the fantasy one, and then there's Warhammer 40k, which is the sci-fi one, and the miniature that I'm painting at the moment is Tau, which is 40k. But I do have like some steampunky guys, which is the Cadron Overlords, and their Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which are kind of really cool. They're like steampunk dwarves. And if you don't think steampunk dwarves are cool, then obviously we're not going to get along. Okay, I think that looks a lot better. It's just tidying up like a couple of dodgy bits that I wasn't happy with. I mean, I think it's also just going to help me when I put the grey down to know where I need to go. You know, what's supposed to be grey and what's not supposed to be grey. I think it's just going to help me identify those bits. Just get a point on my brush again and just paint that in. Just painting it a little bit more clearly. So it's a little bit more clearly defined. Okay, and we're going to like very quickly blast through these guys. That's the plan anyway, just to quickly blow through them and just tidy. It's just a tidy job, really. Very quick tidy up. That's the plan. Just to do a very quick tidy up of these miniatures. And then we can move on to a little bit more painting of them. I think maybe I used slightly too big a brush last time. So I'm going to stick with this smaller brush in the hope that we can get more contrast, like a more accurate amount of contrast. stuck to it, the model. So that's what my goal is tonight. Someone's talking, which I'm going to check in just a second. Just tidying up a few bits. That's what our plan is. That's what our plan is, guys. Just to tidy up our little dudes. To make it a little bit more clearer. What's his glove and what's his gun? Or how even he and she, like, I think they're just like space fish. They're communist. Space fish. Communist space fish. That's quite funny. I think I need a little bit more paint because there's a little bit of gloop going on. Okay, the chat says, "Oh Rex, I know that one, never ended up getting it myself. But a friend did, they were cool. I sent someone to do something cool, that is paint them with flat colours and black lines like older comics. Thinking of getting the unmade next for Warcry. Do you know those, Alex? The war band with the little leader on the stilts. No, I'm not sure of that one, J.O. Probably what I would have done, says Rex. Still have mine from the Marvel game. That game never caught on though. They still got them for the Pokemon game though. A game I never liked. Did he have Pokemon miniatures? I've never seen them. I've never seen Pokemon miniatures before. So that's an interesting one, if they do exist. Just whacking a little bit of paint down. There's quite a lot of paint on my brush, so just tidying up what I did last time. Contrast paint's so much faster. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm still on the fence about how quick contrast paints really are. Yeah, there's a bit blobby here. There's a bit of a blobby bit here that's I definitely want to cover over. Like his hand there. I don't like the fact that his hand is like all covered in paint. So there's like a really tight bit in there which I'm not going to bother with. I'm not going to bother with that. I'll get that bit. I mean, it's always a difficult one being fussy over miniatures like this, because on the tabletop in a game you ain't going to notice any mistakes like this. You just ain't gonna miss them, you know. No one's gonna see it. Just filling in that bit there. There we go. That's good, I'm happy with that. Trying to get a damn point on my brush is a hard job. I'm going to buy a brand new set of like Winsor and Newton brushes because I can't get points on these Citadel brushes for the life of me. If My life depended on the damn thing. Okay, that's that one done. So we're working our way along the list. Oops. And a load of paint dribbled down the back of that. I don't know why that's done that. I'm just keeping my brush sort of like semi-wet. Okay. Still got, they're all over the place here, Alex. They continually have characters creating, putting out on the market. Rex, shame the Marvel one never took off. I've seen the Pokemon one too, and a cool thing, yeah, it can do contrast paint over them, over silver coloured for metal. Well, that's super cool. That's super cool. I've not like heard of Pokemon miniatures, so I've learned something tonight. I've definitely learned something new tonight, which is that you can get Pokemon miniatures. Not that I'm interested, like, if I'm doing this, I'm doing miniature painting. I'm probably going to stick with 40k. Like, I remember doing 40k as a kid, though, and it's exploded now. Like, it's so popular, 40k. It's really strange. Like, 40k is so popular, and it's a strange one. Oops, sorry, you can't see. I was looking at a tiny area. Oh, that bit definitely needs paint on it. Not quite sure how to get the brush into that angle, but it definitely needs paint on there. Yeah, I'm glad I'm tidying them up, because there's a couple of just like really dodgy bits that I'm not 100% keen on. So, you know, definitely. I mean, I think you probably get less mistakes with contrast the better you get. Like here, definitely. Like here's a problem. Just in there. Just there where the shoulder pad is. I've completely just glooped over that. So, let's get some paint and a point on my brush and just blob that in there. I can't get a point on this for the life of me. Let me just wash the brush out. I think I've got a load of dried paint go into the actual top part of the brush. So if I wash the brush out, I might do a little bit, I might fare a little bit more of a chance. I've got some isopropyl alcohol, but I'm tempted to dump these brushes in. It might actually help me out. Okay, let's try again. Let's try that again. Oh, that's better. That is better. Definitely. I've got one bristle sticking out, but that's not too bad. Right, okay, we've got that painted there. That there. Painted over his leg. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect, really. Just so long as it's semi-decent. Okay, let's check out the chat. Rex says they were already coloured, the ones I got. They had ones you do paint, but I quit buying them because no one was into playing the game. It came with a whole bunch of cards you purchased to play. Oh right, cool. So it's like some sort of like weird game, so to speak. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Like it's like the Pokemon trading card game. It's a bit like that then, I guess. It's a bit like the trading card game, but with the miniatures. Okay, let's load this up. I had to just stick a tiny bit more paint of Wraithbone on the brush. It's gone like really gloopy though, the Wraithbone, and the Wraithbone's like only a year old and it's already separating out. So Citadel paints are a little bit dodgy in that respect. Okay, let's get some paint on my mistakes. That's what we're doing tonight. We're just covering up my mistakes where I went a little bit too heavy-handed with the contrast paint. And hopefully we're just sort of like getting a more defined edge, if that's a thing. And it's just going to help us pick out like gloves and things. And like here, along here, I've just glooped all the way over. So just get a little bit of paint on there. Just create a more straight line. It's going to help that out significantly. Just make it crisper really, I think. And also clear up bits where the spray paint hasn't really managed to get in as well. I cannot get a tip for the life of me on this one. Just filling in that bit. So we're just filling in those little bits there. That's what we're trying to do. Okay, that's that done. Now we're just on to the last guy now. I'll just record this as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this Wraithbone base coat, even though I've used the aerosol, just to tidy up little bits around the model where I've gone a bit overboard with the contrast paint. So let's get a nice point on our brush and just fill in a couple of little bits like here. We're just going to fill that bit in there. Just sharpen up some of those areas. And just get a couple of little bits where we've blobbed the paint in where we shouldn't have done. And just get some crisper lines. Just to get some crisper lines basically when we put our black on. So it's looking good so far. Not too bad. Just tidying up a couple of little bits that I wasn't happy with. So we'll just double this little bit on here, just there, if we can squeeze in. Oop. There we go, that's fine. We just squeezed in there, and it looks okay to me. That looks okay to me. Definitely looks okay to me. So let's move on to our contrast paint, shall we? Just get the focus right on here. Okay, just make sure our lid is on the paint now. Okay, the Marvel game, honey, you pitted Marvel heroes against the cards you got increased or decreased. Your power or what your character could do, where the character you had could move on the board. Oh, super cool. Against Marvel villains or each other, the cards you played determined how much power your character had and where it could move on the board. Oh, well, that's interesting. That's super interesting. That's super cool. So how are we doing with the stream? If YouTube even wants to load up while I'm brushing my paint. Okay, yeah, we're okay with the stream. Everything looks okay with the stream, so that's good. That's great. Similar to Pokemon Magic or perhaps even Warhammer. Sorry, I know nothing about that game. Well, Warhammer, you don't really have cards. Like, they do have cards, but they're more like objective cards and stuff. You don't really have like cards. You sort of have books instead. There's like big books of rules that everyone carries on around, you know. So that's Wraithbone done with. Okay, let's move on to then. What's this Cliff Charger Grey? I've opened it up and used it, but I don't quite know what Cliff Charger Grey is. I'm going to have to just get a tiny bit out and see what colour it is. It's like really bluey. Yeah, I think I've used this for his head, like the towel flesh. Yeah, I've used that for the towel flesh. Yeah, that's towel flesh, that. Glyph Charger Grey is definitely what I've used on here to do his head. So, how did we do this then? I've got black for Black Templars, but then like I've got like a grey here. So I've not used Glyph Charger Grey because that's too light a colour. So have I just watered down something maybe? I'm not sure. We're going to have to actually find out now. So, no, I'm starting from the start again. Just give this a shake. Shake our paints up. Right, I'm just gonna like just see like what happens when I stick this on his glove. No, that's definitely not. That's definitely not what I've done for his glove. I've just watered down another colour. It's a proper Kerry white. Cool. I think I've just watered down Black Templar basically with the medium, with the technical contrast medium. So what I've done is I've used contrast Black Templar with technical contrast medium. That's what I've obviously done there. Let me just wash my brush out so everything's nice and clean. And then I'm going to have a quick drink of water. Just so I've had a little drink. And then we're going to carry on. I've been going for like 36 minutes, which is pretty good. Right, let's get some contrast. This needs shaking up. I've not played the Marvel game, but I don't know if JO's played it or not. Okay, so we're now going to do Contrast Black Templar, and we're going to use the technical medium to get a grey for the gloves. But for now, let's just do the actual bit that we want to do. Cracking that paint open. Doo-doo-doo. Like you do. Okay, we're going to get a big dollar, whack it down on our wet palette. I'm not sure if we're supposed to use contrast paints on a wet palette, but we'll try. Okay, and then we're going to go for gold, guys. We're going to stick it on his legs. What did I do? It was like the whole legs, just that colour, yeah. Okay. And I think it's thinned out near the base, so... I remember now, like, if you use a really small brush, like, you can't seem to get as much on, but there's a lot more control. So, we'll try and go for more control this time. There we go. Coat that, coat that. And we're just going to coat all of this with contrast. Use a small brush just to go in and get all those little areas. It's pretty good, like we're covering quite a large area quite quickly, which is what I like. And we're just going in now. You do love your water. I still have too much soda. Like my teeth, I drank loads of soda as a kid, and it stripped all the enamel off my teeth, so I can't drink a lot of soda at all, or all my teeth will fall out. So I have to just drink fizzy water. Or I think like in America they sort of call it like salsa, I think. Okay, we're just trying to get the underneath of this. Just trying to get the underneath. Yeah, that's there. Just getting plenty of contrast on my brush, but not too much contrast, because we don't want too much or it'll get messy. Right. Okay. Get some contrast in there. Some contrast in there. Just go up there. There. Just to make that nice and neat. Oops. Let's just try and shade his leg then a little bit. Okay, legs look done. We'll move on to his arms. I think it's just a little bit more fiddly though when you do like the second part of contrast. It is fiddly. It's just going all these bits. It's quite fiddly, guys. Quite fiddly. Said the fiddler on the roof. So we'll just do this. But not do his glove. I'll just get to there. I've run a little bit over, but we should get away with that. Because I'm going to add some medium to the gloves to make it a little bit more watered down. To sort of create a grey. Okay, so that's that bit, and we should be nearly done soon. So, let's just paint this in now. Just doing the helmet first. Just painting this in. Trying to be really neat. Not splodge this everywhere else. Just trying to be as neat as I can be. I think that's maybe what my problem is as well. You can't get like a decent point on the brush with contrast. Okay, we've got that. I'm glad I tidied up them bits because they would have looked weird. So that's his glove there. Where do the gloves go to? Yeah, that's there. Oh. That's the gun it should have got coated, so I'm just going to coat it a dark colour because I won't see it. I just missed the contrast off on that bit. Right, okay, that's going to be glove up to there, so geez, he's got a fair bit of like gloved area. We'll plot that in from there onwards. And just run the contrast plane up into his shoulder. Around there. I think we've mostly got where we want to coat. Yeah, we've mostly coated it right. So we'll move on to our next guy. Geez, we've only got one guy done. Okay, let's move on, shall we? Moving on. Oops, got a little bit carried away just there. And we'll just coat that on. Oops, my hair getting in the way. Right, that's that painted. All okay, nice. And moving on to the next side, let's cover the next side. There we go. Getting the contrast paint just into there. It's flowing quite nicely, paint today. This contrast Black Templar is a lot more controllable, I think, than the other one. Like, some of the paints are more controllable than the others. That is definitely the case. Definitely the case. Trying to be careful, trying to be neat. Just trying to neatly put this on. Because we've got a couple of tight spots here and there that we're just trying to get. So that's his legs done. Now we want to do his shoulders with a nice sort of thing. Sorry I had to go for a little bit, but J.O.'s back. Hey J.O., welcome back to the stream. Glad to see you all here. It's great that you're just part of the channel. Like, well, I wasn't quite sure what to do. Like, I can paint these just... Ooh, that's a tight bit. I can paint these just, like, on my own. And, oh, smudge. Yeah. Overdid that one. I can paint these on my own, but I thought I'd share my experience with you all, because that's like the point of the channel, isn't it? Just to like share my experiences. Hi there, thanks. Washes are drying up on the chaos spawns. I see you put in the black contrast already. Yeah. I'm sticking on, like, the blue was done last week, but what I'm doing is just sticking on the black Templar now, because what I was doing was just tidying up everything from last week. That's what I was trying to do anyway. And now what I'm doing is this. I mean, the idea of these live streams, you could make a battle. You could make a battle report. Do you have a board? Yeah, I've got an 8 by 4 board I can use to set up and do a battle. Oh, I missed a bit there. Oh, my thumb. Like, if you make a mistake with contrast, like, I've noticed that your thumb can be really good at, like, just tidying things up. So, just get in there. I don't think you can really see much there. We'll just paint that. Ow. Making a mistake, which we just did. Just wash that off with a brush. A brush that I had to hand, that I could easily grab. Okay. Yeah, I could do a battle report. I've been tempted to sort of do that. I mean, there's other channels that do really good jobs on that, though. But I could make an interesting battle report for sure. For sure, guys. But I need some painted miniatures first, don't I? I think that's the problem. I haven't really got enough painted miniatures, and that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to get some miniatures to battle ready, not necessarily parade ready, but at least just to battle ready, and then we'd be so much like better suited. Really, that'd be perfect. Going a bit crazy in there. It's just a bit tight there. Oh, that's okay, we can get away with that. So yeah, once I've got some like painted miniatures, then I think we'll be okay. We can do some really good battle reports, hopefully. We could get some like really cool, like, because I've got lots of different miniatures that we could do some hilarious battle reports on. Which would definitely be cool. Definitely be very cool. Oh, yeah, I've got some awesome chaos guys. Some really awesome chaos dudes. I've got some Havocs. And some really cool... Like, I've got the Lord Discordant. Have you actually seen the Lord Discordant model? I've made him and like given him a creepy red metallic colour. Okay, that looks alright. That looks pretty good. Right, we've done his arm, his arm, his arm, his head. I want to just do a little bit where I've missed. There. And there. I see a little bit of like paint coming through. I was taking like way too long with that miniature. That one took way too long. I'm just going to wash my brush out because I've had a lot of contrast paint on it for quite some time. I'm out of my league here trying to catch up. I only have Marvel miniatures. Rex, do you have fantasy or sci-fi best? Well, I like. I'm not sure. I'm quite heavily invested in. Seems a huge Warhammer fan base here in the States. Yeah, certainly. I think I'm just going to give the contrast a shake as well because everything's starting to settle. Oh, Black Templar does not want to shut. There we go. Just give that a new shake up. A little bit of both. I'm sort of like a bit in the both. A bit of both. But more, I would say I'm definitely more invested in 40k sci-fi. Definitely more invested in that. The Warhammer fan base has really grown recently. It's sort of like only been a few years and the fan base is like exponentially grown, which is great for the hobby. Because obviously there's more people coming in, old people who are into it coming back. So it's really good time to get into the hobby right now. Now using a smaller brush sort of slows everything down with contrast, but it allows me to get like a really neat finish, which is what I think we need. And I think you also have to remember to like regularly shake this contrast paint up, because if you've had it sitting for a bit, it does sort of go like the contrast bit doesn't work the same, so you've got to just sort of remember that. They have both. It's Warhammer 40k or Warhammer Age of Sigmar. There's also skirmish versions, both that you can start playing single kit like both too. They try and combine both here, but they fail. I wouldn't say they combine both. You've got Age of Sigmar and you've got 40k. They're separate things. If you walk into the shop, they've got a bit of everything. I never see people really buying that much fantasy stuff, but I could be completely wrong. Like, I'm sure 40k is the far more popular one. It's the far more popular one. I mean, people play the computer games and then want to go like, hey, there's cool miniatures, what's with the cool miniatures? And then they do stories and they do books. They've got the finger in so many pies, DW. But it's good. I mean, they've got a good product and they're really churning out lots of different things at the moment. So, you know, it's pretty good. It is pretty good. Fantasy files best here. For superheroes is fantasy. There's nothing scientific about them. Yeah, it's just superheroes. I'm just painting this guy's legs in. Whoa, I've been streaming for an hour now, wow. Well, I'm hoping that I can at least contrast, like just get the dark contrast in. I don't know, my progress is really slow today. I don't know why my progress is so slow. I'm just like taking ages to paint everything. I've moved to a smaller brush and maybe that could be a reason, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it's just because I'm trying to be neat, because I don't want to screw up my miniatures, because I'm trying to desperately paint them neatly. Because that's his glove there. Just water that down on his glove. Just wanted to wash that off his glove. Oops. Because I sort of made a little bit of a mistake there. Pokemon is pure fantasy and it's still very popular here. Yeah, well, like, when, like, I sort of think of fantasy, I mean, it's sort of, like, not in this era. It's in, like, set in the past or set in a different dimension, if you know what I mean. We'll just tweak that a little bit this way. You know, like goblins and little things. Star Trek used to be heavily popular here, not so much anymore. I know, like, what has happened with Star Trek? It has sort of like died away, hasn't it? It's ebbed away. Like 40k is turning into the next Star Trek. You know, in terms of popularity, loads of people are into 40k now, or yeah, because Age of Sigmar is very less popular. There's, like, it's so big, Warhammer now, there's a lot, it's gone mainstream. It was sort of this like weird obscure niche hobby, and then it's really exploded into something a lot more than it was. But I mean, I kind of liked it when it was sort of like a lot smaller and a lot sillier. There was a real charm to it. It's got so big now that I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, because it's like so mainstream and so popular. It's lost a little bit of that like cool factor, that no one knew what it was. It has lost a bit of the cool factor, you know. But it's still better that there's more people in the hobby, you know. Star Wars is more fantasy than science fiction. Me and my friends would argue about it constantly. I mean, like I say, that's science fiction because it's set in the future. I feel that fantasy is set more in the past. It's more sort of medieval. But maybe that's just the way I'm skewed with Warhammer and 40k and Age of Sigmar. Maybe it's just skewed my perspective on that. I'm just trying to desperately like dollop some contrast paint into the right spot. There's some really like niggly little bits I'm trying to paint here, and they're difficult to hit. Hey everyone, the USB hub like decided to kill itself. So like the USB hub didn't like it. I play it once in a while but more with friends. The most popular game here they have for tournament is Magic. I play it once in a while, but more with friends. Not as much more competitive scene. Do you play it? I don't play Magic the Gathering. I don't really play trading cards. I've collected Pokemon cards a few times, but I think that's about it. No, my religious beliefs won't permit it. Why, what's that? I know it's funny, me being gay and talking about my religious beliefs. So you won't play Magic the Gathering because of your religious beliefs? What religious beliefs are those? Okay, we can carry back on now. Painting them. I just had to swap over the Elgato. It didn't like my USB hub for some reason. I'm not sure why. It just didn't like the USB hub. So I swapped it over just to a dedicated port. And we're a lot better now. But I think I need to tweak the camera over there. I'm a bit far away here, aren't I? I could do with another water. Because I'm getting thirsty. This is thirsty work. Okay, just painting that in there. Okay, so we've got that painted. That painted. I don't think we've missed anything much. Oh, just coat that there a little bit, just to tidy it up. Yeah, we've mostly painted that one. So moving on to our next dude. We're nowhere near halfway. I just rinsed that out. Oh, you're just Christian, right, so nothing like strange. I mean, no, there's loads of gay Christians. There's loads of gay Christians out there. Let me just grab my backup supply of water. Just for a brief second. Like, the painting's coming along really well. I'm really happy with how this is coming along. But like, what my plan is at the moment is to just keep painting something. Today's water is Highland Springs sparkling water. We're on Highland Springs sparkling water from Scotland's Oakhill Hills. That's what we're drinking tonight. And I just drink sort of like a little bit funny because I don't want to smudge my lipstick. So apologies for the screen dropping out before, the stream dropping out even. I was just sorting this out. What annoys me with this camera is that it can't seem to handle, like it focuses on the stuff in the background. Maybe if I lower it slightly, it won't do that. I need to like point that up as well. Alright, that's a little bit better. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay. I'm just annoyed that light here wants to be on me and it's stuck behind the camera, which is really peeving me off. Let me just try and wiggle my light over. Where's the camera gone? Ta-da! We're back. Sorry for that intermission. where we just disappeared for a brief second. There we go. Zoom out a little bit. Right, okay. Let's try again. Now you see it casts a shadow then. That's the trouble. I'm having loads of trouble with that light. Oh, why is the power supply stuck underneath it? Like, it's casting a shadow on my face, and that's what I don't want it to do. Oh, the lighting is terrible. Sorry guys for the lighting. I need the 3 lights set up. I need a 3 camera light set up. Just give me a sec. A slight intermission while I fight the studio lights. Right. Okay. That's, well, at least that's a little bit better. It's not horrific. That's a bit better. It's a little bit better. Yeah, it's not too bad, that. No, it's not too bad. Let me turn it there. Does it bounce off a little bit more? Right, let's try again. I've always been gay, couldn't help it, but moving on, I always did like the game of Magic. I would watch as a favourite comic stores would close in order to sponsor Magic tournaments. J.O., if you're good, you should participate in Magic tournaments. It interests me, for I used to participate in a bit of Magic, the real stuff. Ooh, what sort of Magic did you participate in, Rex? What was your Magic participation? Here we go, zoom in a little bit. Let's try and do autofocus again. Load up our brush. Oh, this is this dodgy one. This is the dodgy miniature where he's like, he's all melted at the back. Can you see his legs all melted? I don't know what the hell someone did to them. I picked up these miniatures on eBay, and like I'm trying to do a bit of a eBay miniature rescue video, where it's like, look at these derpy miniatures, look at how I've stripped the paint off and revived them. But what started a year ago has sort of carried on. Like, I've been a little bit delayed in doing the whole thing. Been a bit delayed in doing the whole video, you know. That's the problem. That's my problem. I play more casually, but thanks. I play Silver's Commander's deck. They are a bit like the Xenomorphs from Alien. Curious about the real Magic story too. Spells, enchantments, stuff like that, not evil stuff. Oh, I'm really interested in like the spells and things like that. Really interested. It's something that like really interests me. Performing magic spells and various other great things. I just tweak the camera down a bit because I can never seem to get the camera in the right spot. Okay. And the focus is terrible. That's like the only problem on my camera. The focus is like awful. So, tell me more about your spells and enchantments. Were they like Wicca or something? Was it a bit like the Wicca stuff that they do? You know, that like moon thing where you get like the phases of the moon and you do something at a certain time of the month where the moon phase is in the special waxing or waning phase to create more energies or something, because that always sounds cool to me. And sounds a bit cool. Okay, I'm just putting some paint on this leg bit, which is like a little bit tricky. They're in so many different poses, the Tau guys, that I'm always trying to like get the best sort of angle on them. There we go. That's contrasts going on nicely there. Like, I'm tempted to get a bigger brush, but at the same time I'm not tempted to get a bigger brush. But no, I've never been like tempted by Magic the Gathering. I've got a cousin who's like extended cousin, like not my cousin, so family extended cousin, and he was like really into Magic the Gathering. But it's something like you have to spend a fortune on cards to get the right cards to play. I just don't understand the actual game mechanic and stuff, so I think I'm just going to stick to tabletop miniatures. Just crap the focusing correctly. Just trying to get that camera with the right focus. Okay, don't want to get his glove, just want to get near the glove. Okay, just going on nicely. Oh, I'll try and tidy these bits up as well. Get a little bit of a point on the brush just to go into that little crevice there. I just want to coat that. I'm always like really fussy when I'm painting my miniatures that I want the paint always in the right spot, you know. Witchcraft, that was all that was available. Voodoo spells, enchantments, making charms for good luck. Love potions and charms to ward off enemies or ill fortune. Oh, super cool. Super cool. I'm really into stuff like that. Really into stuff like that. Maybe I should make a few like videos with it. That would be cool. I think that might actually be quite interesting if we did that. What do you guys think? Do you think I should make interesting videos like that? Do some like enchanted Alex Faxton channel stuff. Alex Faxton enchanted. What do you guys think? Enchanted things. It's nearly 9 o'clock, jeez. I'm going to have to like get a lick on painting these because I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to run out of time, and I really want to get all the grey, like the black areas painted tonight. How many I've done? I've done 4. I've got 4 more, so if I can do them in less than 20 minutes, that sounds like a plan. This guy's so messed up, like someone's proper melted this Tau guy with something. Like, I don't know what they did with the glue, but like they messed this dude up. This guy got messed up really badly. There was like multiple coats of paint on them when I received them off eBay. It's like someone had got one and then attempted to paint them different. I don't know. Oh, I can't get a point on this for the life of me. There we go. Lowering back again. Oh, jeez. Right, there we go. It's just a bit fiddly, this one. I might have to wash my brush out. I think I'm going to just wash the brush out for a second. We distracting you, honey? No, it's just I can't get the brush to make a point. I need the brush to make a point, and it wasn't making a point. So it was like splaying out. Don't, Alex, that stuff brings more bad luck than good luck. No, it's good. It's exciting doing spells and stuff. It's great fun. It's great fun, guys. Okay, I think we've got a better point now, because I'm just doing such an intricate little bit. I'm just going like, it's a really awkward part of the miniature to do. It's just a really awkward part of the miniature, and I was getting really frustrated with it. I was getting frustrated because my brush wouldn't make a point, and I got to like blob contrast into a really stupid area. Okay, load that up. I think I overloaded the brush with contrast paint. So we'll try again, just to blob a load of paint in that area. I'll have to wash that off. Put it on a shield. Okay, we've blobbed loads of paint into there. And now I'm just going to have to get this with a bit of water on and wash it off there. Okay, yeah, we washed that off. That's alright then. Right, so that's okay, that's okay. Let's touch up that bit there that I can see a blob of what's it. Okay, see a blob of like white things. Just wash that again. Like that, just to wash it off. Right, okay. You got another brush, might be time to switch. No, it was just not getting quite right. Tile Squad looking so cool. Oh, thank you, Jo. Do you have any of the big mechs? Yes, good job. Thanks, Rex. I've got like, I had a set and I sold it because I decided that I wasn't really doing a lot of Tau at the time, so I sold it, and that was probably a stupid idea, maybe, I don't know. But I sold it for more money than what I paid for it, so I decided to just cash in and then buy it when I'd start painting stuff, but I think the trouble is, like, GW have had a load of price increases since then, so it was actually like really good value for money. Well, that's probably where I just screwed up. Right, okay. That's that guy sorted out. That was a difficult one. I think it was his pose. I'm sure it was just his pose. Oh, I wondered what was going on with the camera. It's gone to like widescreen, hasn't it? Right, hang on. PAL. Standard. There we go, zoomed in. Yeah, oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. Oops. There we go, I'm in the middle again. Perfect. So what I've done is I've got, if we look in the background, I've got 4 done, and I've got 4 to go. Like, why does that look hazy? Yeah. There we go. That's that sorted. Right, okay, let's load up our guy. Load up the next one. It's focused. I'm going to give the contrast paint another shake. If I can get the damn lid on. Just going to shake up the contrast. Wet the brush again. I think I'm just being slow as well because I'm trying to be an awful lot more neater with these ones. So let's flow some contrast paint into there, because obviously I'm painting up against a painted edge now, so I'm trying to be neat, and I think I'm just basically out of practice with painting because it's been a while since I've painted anything. So obviously being out of practice and quite slow. There's a lot of other people who are far more better at painting than me, but we'll get these tail guys done. My plan for tonight is to just get this black on. I'll do the grey gloves again. I mean, I only painted 4 last time, so I'm thinking this is taking ages, but I'm painting the other 8 because I only painted 4 as like a bit of a test to see if I like the colour scheme or not. And I do like the colour scheme. I like the colour scheme an awful lot. So that's what the plan is. I'm just trying to be like super neat and tidy though, and just flow the paint into all the right spots. And then we'll have some like cool towel dudes. And then it'd be awesome! So I'm sorry on the stream if I've not been like things looking good, honey, but remember, I'm not familiar with these characters. I play more Age of Sigmar, but one thing I can't wait to get into with 40k is Plastic Noise Marines and Fulgrim, etc. My favourite legion already have plenty of Slanesh. Oh, I love Slanesh. Slanesh is cool. I have like the Noise Marine miniature, you know, with like the guitar. I think he's so cool. And What is 40k? 40k is Warhammer 40,000. The reason why it's called 40,000 is because it's set in the year-ish 40,000. So it's set 40,000 years in the future. And that's basically why it's called Warhammer 40k. Because it's set 40 years in the future. 40,000 years in the future. Even 40 years in the future. There is one called Bolt Action, which is like, it pictures like if the war hadn't ended in World War II. That's kind of an interesting one, but it's weird they just use like Tamiya kits. Not Tamiya, like Itari, whatever. They use like tank kits, basically. Actual genuine tank kits, which is good, but like kind of weird at the same time. Oh, I need to paint something in here. That's all gone weird. So, oh, I think I've got like another bit of a melted guy here. Like some of these ended up like weirdly melted. Just wash that. Some of them ended up like weirdly melted, yeah. Yeah, that one is awesome. I have that one too. I love the guitar weapon. Yeah, I think he's cool. Like, I want to field a whole squad of noise marines, but the trouble is he's in like one pose. So if I was to do it, I'd have to like kit bash the whole thing to bits, and I just don't have the time right now to do something like that. But I'd love to do something like that in the future. I think that would be awesome. So I'm just getting the paint on here. I mean, I hope I'm entertaining you all. I hope I'm keeping you all happy. I know this is like not the best live stream, but I wanted to spend time with my subscribers and show you all like me just when I'm chilling out, you know, because the idea is to just show everyone my life. That's the idea, and I want to be like people's best friend on the internet. Just somewhere cool to like go and hang out. And the only thing that like makes me sad is that I don't have like loads of people watching the stream. Like, that's what's a bit sad. Like, I'd love it if more people were watching the stream. I'm sitting here watching Enola Holmes on Netflix and listening to you. Oh, super cool. Super cool. Well, thank you so much for listening to me, because I really appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. It's great just to have you all here and to chat 40k and everything else. It's just great. It's just absolutely great. I love doing this. And oh, it's tight. Trying to paint that in a really tight spot. Ooh, spilt it. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm just trying to like hang out with everyone, be a good internet best friend to everyone. And I don't know if that's a wise choice to make on the YouTube edge. I don't know if that's like the best channel direction, but I thought it, like, I'm trying to add uniqueness to the channel, like, because it's going to be no good trying to do what everyone else is doing on YouTube. There's so many people doing all the same thing. You've got to do like just your own unique style. You know, you've got to just do your own unique style and just hope that people enjoy it. Getting some glazes in on the chaos spawns as you paint as well. It's been a good time. Oh, super cool. I mean, yeah, like painting together, that's like awesome. You know, let's paint together is super awesome. You know, that really is super awesome. So let's just do that. Oops. Contrast paint is very runny. That's what we know to be true. It's a very runny paint. I need to just blob a little bit of black in there, because it's a bit too light a colour for my liking. Right, okay, we've got his helmet painted. We've got that. We've got that paint on there. Okay, this dude is painted, I think. Just try and blob a little bit in there. And in there. Up in there. No one can see this bit, so just put a little blob there, because it's a little bit lightly coloured for my liking. It won't look right, look unfinished. And just blob a little bit in there. And that looks okay to me. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Just looks like we were missing a little bit. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We have 3 left. 3 Tau miniatures left to complete. You're doing fine, honey. It's interesting. Oh, thank you so much. I'm trying to stay interesting for you all. Just drinking some water. And let's continue with the Tau. Let's continue our Tau adventure. I'm hoping that these dudes are a bit easier to paint. I need to give this contrast a shake as well, because it's looking a bit creepy. Just shake up our contrast paint a little bit, because like that's one of the key things, to keep shaking your contrast paints. Let's get some paint on now. Let's get some coverage. Because I've been dawdling for too long. Dawdling for far too long. I'm going to blob some contrast in there. Just trying to neatly do them. And they've got like weird hoofy feet of Tau. They always have weird hoofy feet. But we'll try and crack a little. I'm trying to like crack on as quickly as possible now. It's just sort of like, right, let's just get the contrast paint in where we want it into. There we go. Run it in there, run it in there, run along there. And just paint it the way we want it to look. So we're getting there now. Like I say, unfortunately it was taking a lot longer than I was expecting. So we're just going to try and speed along now a little bit more. And just get this like show on the road, so to speak. Because we want to just get these like painted now. I buy a similar water from Walmart. It's been sweetened though. I'm trying to research Warhammer while you talk. My Chromebook isn't being cooperative. If you go to gamesworkshop.com, you should be able to see all the stuff. So you want to actually look for Games Workshop. That's the place you want to look. Let's get this guy's arms done. It's trying to not paint the gloves. It's quite difficult not to actually accidentally paint his glove, you know. Because there's some like real tight spots. Like these Tau have got some real tight spots in them, really, that you don't expect to be painting, you know. I'm sure Space Marines are far easier to paint in that respect. They have like clearer defined lines and stuff. And I'm sure they've I think they've sort of semi-retired these molds as well. You can still kind of buy these miniatures, but it's quite difficult to buy these types of Tau these days. I'm just going to blob that on there. I know I've got his glove still, but sod it. Because I need to get paint into this area. And under there. Just paint under there. And paint up from there. I'm just slowly trying to improve my skills. Like, the more you do, the better you get. That's what I've been told. I don't know how true it's going to be, but we'll try. Space Marines with a primer the colour of your Legion or an airbrush are super fast. Yeah, like if you get an airbrush and Citadel air paints and then just go for like whatever colour you want and then just boom, hit them, yeah. I imagine you can knock out like a lot of Space Marines pretty fast if you do that. Just sort of spilled a little bit there, so I'm just trying to wash that off. Because I just spilled a little bit. They're looking great. You're doing fantastic. Oh, thank you. I'm always quite critical of my work, so I'm always like beating myself up like, this is taking too long, you should be painting these faster. There's a lot of better painters on YouTube than me. I need to up my game. I mean, like, I'm not even that good a painter, really. I'm just a normal hobbyist, like everyone else. just a normal hobbyist like everyone else. But like, YouTube's such a competitive space now. It's like they literally said in like the latest creator video to creators, like, oh, people are subscribed to like 2,200 channels. People usually subscribe to like 200 channels, and it's hard to keep like up with all the subscriptions. So it's a very competitive space for you. And like, it's like, oh damn, you know what I mean? Kick me while I'm down. Why don't you? You know. It's so... I didn't know they had airbrushes for such small items. Yeah, they do airbrushes. There's lots of, like, if you like YouTube it, there's loads of people using airbrushes on miniatures like this. I think we got that one quite well. Like, that one went really well. I'm really happy with that. We sort of made real progress with that guy. And I think the two, we're on the last two now. But I think these are a lot easier to paint because they're stood up. They're in like a stood up pose, which is super awesome for me to paint in very quickly. Like, I can see what they say about contrast because it whacks on really quick. But yeah, so the latest creator video from like YouTube was like a bit of a reality check and also a bit damning. It's like, damn, like, you know what I mean? It was like, damn, you know, it's like highly competitive space. I always used airbrushes to paint houses. Right. No, these are like little hobby airbrushes. They're like little ones. So like, I call what you use for painting a house, I call that a spray gun. But like an airbrush is like a little like hobby sort of tool. I'm just trying to be neat. I'm prioritizing neatness over speed with this. That's what my priority is. That's what my prime directive is for painting these towels. To be neat. To just neatly paint them, you know. That's the idea. To just neatly get a nice paint coat on. And then we can have some awesome battles with them when I do some battle reports in the future. So we're just trying to sort out the towel now. And just cracking at that contrast paint on. I mean, I think I've probably stuffed up with using a very small brush, but at the same time some of the areas I've got to get into are so tiny, so tiny, that I think my brush of choice is a wise choice. I think I have chosen wisely. Where is that sort of like saying from where they say choose wisely? Is it like Indiana Jones where he's getting the Holy Grail, where the guy says choose wisely? Okay, that's the towel guy's legs done. And now we just want to do his arms. Now we'll just move on to his arms. Ooh, I might have too much contrast on. I might have a little bit too much contrast paint on. Let's get the paint on. Oops, doopsie. There we go. There we go. And then just along the top. Ooh, it's a bit tight there. Ooh. Just rub that off. And then slap it along the bottom. Just like that. And then like that there. And then we've got his like glovey bit there. So that's his glove. Then we want to do his other arm here. We're not doing all of it, we're just doing some of it. I'll paint that in while we're here, just to make that a dark colour. And I need to clean up the edges, so I've overdone the edges. And then we're nearly onto our last miniature. Yay! Nearly onto our last miniature, which is super awesome. Super awesome. So we'll just plop this in here like that. There we go. There we go. And I'm going to like try and, oh, I've got to like do like a danger dive into the Tau miniature like this. So you're going to see me do a danger dive now with the brush. I need to like paint there. Ugh, that was hard. Ooh, just disconnected the miniature from the base from my holder. Right, okay, I think, oh, if I can get the brush just there onto that. Right, I think we got the bits that I wanted to paint, maybe. Right, okay, there's a little bit here that I want to do. Like, I think maybe they should be probably blue there, but I just paint them in the black just to make it darker. Just so they've got a darker colour scheme going on. That's his arms there, done. I want to just, I better just blob a little bit of paint there, because I see something going on there. Just something there. Wipe that away there. I've always used, I was a working man, we got the job done quicker with an airbrush than a regular paintbrush. I'm sure you did. I had no idea there were so many Warhammer films out. Oh yeah, there's like quite a few. Mostly short films, it would seem. Yeah, you want to like see Astrates, like check out the Astrates channel, because he's got like some awesome short films, which is Warhammer 40k, and they're like super cool. They're super cool. I'll link him in a second. Let me just get some paint on the Tau guys. Let me just get this guy painted, and then I'll send you Astrates. Now this miniature I thought would be easier to paint, but it's actually been quite a challenge to get paint into the bits that I wanted to get paint into. Just want to plug a little bit of water there because there was like paint going on a bit. I didn't want to get paint on. I'll just come back to that in a second. And what we're going to do now is just put a little bit of paint in here. Just a little bit of paint in this section. And put a little bit of paint there. There we go. Because there's water in there messing it up. Right, oh, we can put grey in there, or a very, very light coat of black. So just put a very, very light coat of black down there. I need to just wipe the gun because his gun ended up coated. Right, so that's that. I think we can call this guy okay for now with his black paint. He's got the black paint on. So we'll move on to our final miniature. And geez, I've been at this quite some time. 2 hours of like the ultimate 2-hour live stream of Alex Faxton painting Tau. Like, I just bought these guys out of interest as well. Years ago on eBay. But I decided that it'd look pretty cool. And I was going to strip the paint and start again with them, and I've just I was holding off painting them, and then contrast paints turned up, and I was like, oh, these are like perfect to try contrast paints on. So that's what I ended up doing. These guys are my contrast paint guinea pigs. And I'm quite happy. Like, I think certain colours work with contrast paints a lot better than other colours. And certainly, like, this colour scheme that I've picked out for this Tau squad is really good. Like, I'm quite happy with it. I'm quite happy with the paint scheme. So, it's just a case of the home straight now. We're on the home straight, just finishing off this guy. And then I'll do the gloves like tomorrow or something, or whenever. Like, the gloves are the next part, the next stage. It won't be as bad as doing all this black though, because this is quite intricately fiddly, to say the least. This is intricately fiddly. So it's been a real like slog getting these guys decent. You know, that's, I think, the thing with like painting miniatures. You don't realise like how much time it takes to just do, like, oh, I'll just do a squad of Tau. Like, I'll use contrast paint. It's even faster if you use contrast paints. So I did, and like, it still took a while to do. But like, contrast paint has got this weird translucency to it. So when they go on the miniature, they create like a really unique colour that you don't really see on other things. Like, they have a unique, distinct look. I'm not saying it's better or worse, I'm just saying that contrast paints give your miniature a distinct look, like it's been painted in contrast paints. I think like the towel with this sort of like cloth that they've got on is definitely a lot more suited to contrast paint. This sort of you know, clothy texture that they're wearing for their arms and such. You know, definitely it's definitely like a contrast colour. You know, it's definitely suited to a contrast colour. So let's get some paint in some hard to reach areas now. Right, okay, our paint's gone in there and in there. Okay, we're painting the bits we want to paint and wiping off the bits we don't want covered in paint, which is great. And then we're going to look at our handiwork in a second. We're going to take a look at our handiwork ever so shortly. Let's do that, and then we've got his arms done. We just want to do the neck now. So that's our plan. That's what the plan is, guys. Just do this. So we're painting this in. Oops, I made a mistake again. Just use the brush just to wash that away. Wash that away. It's always handy to have like a slightly damp brush just to sort that out with. And coat that quite nicely. Get that on. Do a good job. Okay, so he's sorted out now. I'll just crack the brush in there just to put a bit of paint on that. Right, okay, I think we're done. I think we're done. We're going to just take a quick look at these guys. I'm going to just pop the lid back on that. Make sure it's securely on. Wash out my brush. And it's looking great. It's looking so good now, these dudes. Now, what's Basilicum Grey then? That was Terrigan, that was Glyph Charger Grey, but we've got Basilicum Grey. Now, has this been opened? Yes, yes, so I think that's what we might be using next. Well, I'm not doing that right now. So, zooming out just slightly. These are our guys so far. Let's put the lid back on our wet palette. We need a new wet palette really, because it's getting a bit nasty looking. So let me just wash the brushes out ever so slightly. Okay, brushes are washed out. Really trying to just get this out, the contrast out of the brush. And get our point on our brush as well. Right, okay. So, taking a look at our miniatures, let's give an update of what we managed to do. Right, okay. Crack the focus correctly. Okay, so these are our 4 originals. These are our 8 that I was finishing off, that I was desperately trying to finish off. We've done all the blue, the terror, the Arcallan green, even though that weird greeny blue, turquoisey colour, which doesn't really come across on the camera. We've done the black areas now, so what we're wanting to do next is the grey gloves. We're going to do the grey gloves. That's the plan next. And yeah, these should look pretty good. Let me just record this. So far what we've managed to do is get all the black on our miniatures now. So we've done our Arcallan green, and then what we've done is we switched to black Templar to do the trousers and the feet and the arms. And then what we're going to do for the gloves is use Basilicum Grey. I think this is what we're going to be using to do the actual gloves part, and then we'll be moving on to doing the bases. So exciting times. Watch this space for more exciting videos coming soon. Yes. So thank you for watching. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe for more videos. Bye everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye. Bye. Thank you for watching. Bye.